Okay, good evening to all beings seen and unseen. How's everyone doing tonight? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. This is Sovereign Starseed, where every night at 10 p.m. Mountain, 5 o'clock Universal, we're accelerating Earth's awakening process by streaming some sovereign, neutral, unsponsored information. My name is Seth. My friends call me Silky, and I am happy and grateful to be able to have this opportunity to bring this to you tonight. So grateful. In fact, I've been having so many revelations about how beautiful of a time it is for us to be alive right now that today I was just overcome with it again, and I was just thinking about how we really do have an amazing opportunity to say what we want, express ourselves how we want, and we've, at least in what's taught for history, we haven't been connected like this in this type of way before. So to be able to spread this stream as far as the world can take it is just something that I start to think about, and I'm so grateful for all of the ancestors and all of the people that came before us that thought throughout history to get us to where we are now, so that we get to benefit from all of that work that came before us. So take a minute, and think about it and really feel that for a moment, because it's beautiful. And I don't think we'll ever experience a time like this again, even though I am aware that time moves in circles, not really lines. But that's for a whole nother day. Anyways, friends, let's go ahead and let's bring in some of the news. Let's go ahead and get talking about what we're talking about tonight. Sorry that it's that the stream is going off a little bit late, guys. Just having some technical difficulties out here in Colorado. But hey, we're here. The spaceship took off. It's happening, baby. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get this set up. Anybody that has anything that they want to say in chat, go ahead and pop that out in chat. And later on, once we end up getting everybody else on board with the replay later on, you can hear this as a replay later on D Sound. And that actually just reminds me of one other announcement that I wanted to make, is that D Live is now starting to mature itself into a better platform. And D Live is actually something that I'm going to be trying to stream on, and I think I might try that tomorrow night. So if you guys are wanting to end up seeing what's going on with the show tomorrow night, if you want to see it successful, and if it is successful, I'm going to go ahead and try it on D Live. But if that is not successful, then I'm going to go ahead and just hop back over to these typical channels that we're doing them on right now. But I would so much rather be streaming on the decentralized web, guys, because it's so much better. So from that, let's just go ahead and take a look at a few things here. Mr. Compton's already on the spaceship. You know how? Because we got our message. Let's get the show on the road. Love it. All right, fam. We'll go ahead and get this show on the road. So, bring in the news. So, the fantastic news that's happening. Right? Appreciate you, man. It's so cool. I even said it to somebody. I was like, yeah, I think it's really cool that one of my regulars is a guy named Mr. Compton. I'm all like, that's so cool. And if you are in Compton, bro, you're the coolest person in Compton, I think, because who watches something like this? That is fresh. You know what I'm saying? Let's just go ahead and introduce a little bit of herbs as we end up bringing up some of this too, because the decentralized web and everything else says that we can be free, and that's really where the revelations I've been having lately too is, man, express yourself. Whoever you are, this whole world wants to see it, so let it be seen. So let's go ahead and take a look at our first article here. This first article comes from VentureBeat.com. Comes out today. It says Google has received 2.4 million right to be forgotten URL delisting requests, and they actually only fulfilled 43% of these. So it says Google has revealed that it has received 2.4 million de-indexing requests following the so-called right to be forgotten ruling in Europe, with less than half of the requests proving successful. The new figures constitute part of the internet giant's semi-regular search removals transparency report, which it yesterday revealed will now provide further details on the kinds of requests being made and who is making them. Google also published a new research paper called 3 Years of the Right to be Forgotten, which is designed to illuminate the effect that the right to be forgotten ruling has had and is having on information access. It says, quote, "This paper uses our manual reviewers' annotations to provide a comprehensive analysis of the ways Europeans are using the right to be forgotten," noted Google Transparency Report. So I just really want you guys to end up seeing that basically we don't end up having to go too deeply into everything here, but what's important for us to see is that, you know, even when laws are being made and laws are in place to try to protect people from, you know, having their information out there, such as this rule right here, where in Europe they had made a ruling and a right so that you can be forgotten and you can send a request over to Google to try to get that information taken out of Google. However, less than half of these requests are actually being accomplished. So it's a hit or miss, and in fact it's more of a miss than a hit with the biggest search engine, the most powerful information provider on the planet, and they are complying with the planet's requests less than half the time. So I just want us as a species to zoom out and look at that real fast and see that and be like, wow, we give so much power to this giant that really he only does what I want it to do, or it only does what I want it to do less than half the time I asked it to. It's just something to think about, guys. Ray of Sunshine's on the spaceship. Hey. Glad that you're able to make it. All right. So, fam, next on news, CoinDesk.com puts up this article today that says customer ID is now required for crypto exchange purchases in Malaysia. It says new policies for cryptocurrency exchanges developed by Malaysia's central bank have gone into effect. Bank Negara Malaysia announced Tuesday that its anti-money laundering and counter-financing of terrorism policy for digital currencies is now the law of the land. As outlined in the published policy documentation, the rules will apply to all activities performed by cryptocurrency exchanges that offer both fiat to crypto and crypto to crypto trading services. So, yeah, this is just something that I want you guys to see as well, about how the regulators in Malaysia are now trying to control the people in Malaysia, and it seems as though that, you know, they just don't want their populace to end up playing around with that. So, hey, the central bank, Bank Negara Malaysia, getting a huge thumbs down from Sovereign Starseed today, just because it's sad that you still think that you're going to be able to control your populace in such a beautiful time for us to be alive. I just wish you get with the script. I just wish you should start to embrace this and try to make your country look good by freeing your people and letting your people go ahead and make purchases as much as they can, and try to set something up so it's even easier than other countries to make purchases for your people, and then you might actually see the right things happening in your country. It's through freedom, it's through expansion that we end up allowing ourselves to end up seeing the knowledge that's coming to us. You know, and when we see governments or banks try to use contraction and try to hold things down and hold people in from being able to express themselves, well, then it only gets worse and everything starts to blow up. So, and we'll see, and I'll show you guys near the end of this stream how that happens. So next, CoinDesk.com puts out this article today that says Trump administration working on comprehensive strategy for crypto. The Deputy Attorney General for the U.S. said Tuesday that the government is working on a comprehensive strategy around cryptocurrencies. Rod Rosenstein spoke at the Financial Services Roundtable Conference, and basically what he says is that the Justice Department will develop a strategy around crimes involving crypto. He says, quote, "A lot of these crimes involve Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies which do not flow through the traditional financial system." He remarked, quote, "We are working on now with our cybercrime task force we are working on now with our cybercrime task force is working on a comprehensive strategy to deal with that. So this was mistyped. But what Rosenstein also says is that we all know there are ways to trace criminal activity. Generally speaking, it's not just about cyber activity. There will be other ways that people will leave trails. Ultimately, even when dealing with cyber currency, they're going to want to convert, launder it into physical currency, and so there are ways to trace these operations. So as we can see it here, the U.S. Department of Justice is the Justice Department is definitely going to be trying to find ways to control and track and trace their populaces, and it's just going to see that you can see that they are trying to control as well. They're trying to use contraction, hold people down, and they're saying that, like, hey, we still are trying to remain relevant. This is getting really hard for us, but we can prove to you that we still are relevant, that you still need to pay taxes for us, and that's because we're going to try to track it when people try to change these into physical currencies. Okay, people, do you get it, Americans? That's what we're trying to do to remain relevant. Please continue to believe in us as the Justice Department system. Please continue to give us your power, because we are the ones that know better than you. Okay, and that's what we're going to do. That's our $1 million rocket science plan that we took all of your tax dollars to use, and we came up with this. And here it is. We're going to track criminals as they change it into physical currency, Johnson. That's what's going to happen. And that's our super smart plan. So I just want you guys to see that, that's pretty much what's happening with this article. And next in the news, who are my coffee drinkers? Throw something up in chat. Coindesk.com puts out this article today that says Starbucks coin. Executive says coffee seller will probably use blockchain. So Starbucks is likely to utilize blockchain technology as part of a new payments app, Executive Chairman Howard Schultz said Tuesday. Speaking with Maria Bartiromo during a Fox Business segment, Schultz discussed the use of a proprietary digital currency. He says, I think blockchain technology is probably the rails in which an integrated app at Starbucks will be sitting on top of. He says, I believe we're heading into a new age in which blockchain technology is going to provide a significant level of digital currency that is going to have a consumer application. And that's what he said during an earnings call. So, with that, it'll be pretty cool for us to see that you're already using. Let me ask you guys this. Anybody that uses Starbucks, can you already see in your Starbucks app if there is any type of currency that they already use? Put it out in chat if you know what I'm talking about. So if you use the Starbucks app, there might be some type of currency that you're used to getting and you're already used to spending, and you spend it just with Starbucks and it can't be spent anywhere else, but it's their own currency that they use. Ray of Sunshine says, I love my coffee. Yeah. I'll say definitely, I haven't been interested in coffee my whole life up until like the last year or so. And I'm now starting to get interested in it. Okay, Ray of Sunshine says, stars as rewards. And that's exactly right, guys. That's what I'm talking about. So like, Starbucks is already using stars as a currency. And you get a certain amount of stars with every cup of coffee that you buy. And then after you get a certain amount of stars, you get a free cup of coffee. So in a way, this is a currency. It's something that you save. It's something that you put in an account. It's something that you then use to make a transaction, and then you get a good for it. So it's a currency that Starbucks has completely made up and Starbucks uses in order to sustain its business. So I want you guys to also see how much deeper could that go if Starbucks had its own coin. Now think about how deep it could go if we didn't have all the regulations that we're about to have in place, where Starbucks could possibly contract with all kinds of other places and possibly be able to give you all kinds of other perks and benefits just because there's no rules or regulations around it, and you could do all kinds of stuff with your Starbucks coin. The rules are limitless when we don't have regulations, and usually we do it to innovate and better ourselves and better the populace, contrary to what these slave masters will try to tell you. They'll say, no, if you don't let us have rules in place, people are going to get out of control. I'm telling you, they get out of control, Seth. And I'm all like, have you ever seen it? Have you even been alive to see free people? No, nobody has. So everybody that's trying to say, we know that people are horrible or bad and things like that whenever they don't have regulations and slave masters telling them what to do, it's a farce. It's nothing to believe, family. So, yeah, it's just something good to end up seeing here. Next, news.bitcoin.com puts out this article today that says Las Vegas strippers accepting Bitcoin via QR tattoos. There has been a lot of talk recently about the missing representation of women in the male-oriented cryptocurrency ecosystem. So while Las Vegas strippers are not the representation some hoped for, they are an example of how Bitcoin can help working women control their financial affairs and avoid potential problems with prudish banks. This is just funny. Bitcoin dancers. It says, as a Las Vegas news show has featured a segment on an adult entertainment venue in the city, which enables its dancers to get payments from clients directly via Bitcoin transfers. The use of cryptocurrency was primarily showcased as a privacy-enhancing measure, preventing your wife from seeing the payment on the credit card bills, as well as an attraction for affluent Bitcoin investors. So, wow. Take a look at this.
Some patrons are taking advantage of a new kind of visit to the strip club. It won't show up on a credit card bill, and cash isn't required either.
The I-Team's Vanessa Murphy has the story on the club that's trying to draw a certain type of clientele. We do want to warn you, some of this video is quite racy.
That's Bitcoin trading.
Nick Blomgren is a martial arts master and also a Las Vegas businessman who had cryptocurrency, think digital money, on his radar.
We came up with an idea. How could we turn this Bitcoin into something? We were brainstorming. First we were thinking about a fight company because I own a mixed martial art gym.
He says a few ideas came up, but one stood out.
I was like, well, that would work better in a strip club.
That's how the Legends Room was born last year.
It's the best place to spend it if you don't want your wife to know or you don't want your boyfriend to know.
Here's how it works. Customers who already own cryptocurrency can spend it by providing a lengthy number from a digital wallet. If they don't own cryptocurrency, they can still spend their money without it or use an ATM to buy it. Some of the exotic dancers wear temporary tattoos like this one so they can be paid with a scan.
And that's how we do pirate rooms.
How often do customers want to pay with Bitcoin?
Oh, quite often. Like the people that come here, they are like really into crypto. I feel like the clientele is like very smart. They're really into that.
Brenna Sparks, that's a stage name, says she became interested in cryptocurrency at 19 years old, and she's 26 now.
As it's peer-to-peer, it's anonymous, and it's instant.
She and her friends say cryptocurrency may be the future for adult entertainment workers.
I'm not going to name names, but there's certain banks that...
Certain banks that we can. Yes, absolutely. And they will shut down your account and actually deny you from having an account because we work in the adult entertainment.
Yes.
Even the DJ, known as St. Clair, says part of her deal is part of her paycheck is cryptocurrency.
When I first heard about the concept, I thought, wow, this is really something different, you know?
Do you check your account a lot? I do. It's fun though. Once you invest, it's like it becomes an everyday thing.
They're seeing these guys come in and spend a lot of Bitcoin. So they're like, wow, how do I get into Bitcoin, or what coin can I buy?
The Legends Room also has its own cryptocurrency called LGD.
Whoa.
Your asking prices are all there. Your bids are there.
Is it a big draw?
It is starting to become a bigger draw. In the beginning, it was like a lot of Bitcoin guys came in, a lot of LGD members came in and wanted to use their LGD to see if they can buy anything in here at the club, because nobody really thought that the club existed in the beginning. It became, let's go down there and see if we can use our cryptocurrency.
Sure, some clientele is still making it rain here, but for others, a night at this strip club is also about the technology.
You get something for this. You get to come here and enjoy strong drinks and meet beautiful women.
The value
value of cryptocurrency like Bitcoin has taken a plunge, and it faces scrutiny.
Wow, guys. So what do you think of that? Now there's a place called the Legends Room that you can end up paying for your lap dances and everything with cryptocurrencies, and all you got to do is scan her. And people will be holding their phone up right there to women's butt cheeks and taking a picture and sending money right to their wallet. So yeah, it's a new thing. It's something that's happening, and you know, this is part of how you're going to see that this type of stuff happened in the fiat world. This type of stuff is happening in the cryptocurrency world. It's no different. There's always going to be positives. There's always going to be negatives. It's two sides of every coin. And so, yeah, as we're seeing it here, again, like they were saying in the video, the government will shut you down. They will shut down certain accounts for being involved in these industries, as well as like other accounts like cannabis. You know, all these dispensaries in Colorado are having their accounts shut down by banks because there's too many rules and regulations. Page upon page upon page of rules and regulations for those businesses that they shut them down. And then these businesses that are providing a service for people, whether you want, you know, your medicine, or whether you want to end up having a good time at the strip club, you know, those people are having to rely on cryptocurrency. It's giving birth to those types of things, so that way people can end up, you know, going and doing what they want with their money and not necessarily being tracked. So here is something that I don't necessarily support. Like, you know, I'm not somebody that's seen in strip club, but I will say this, that you don't have to be a terrorist or a money launderer or anybody evading taxes to want to go to a strip club and maybe spend some money without the government seeing all of this going to a strip club. Or maybe, you know, somebody else that you care about having that type of stuff on there. So from that, you know, you can see that privacy is just something that some people just want sometimes. And this is one of those areas that you can see it was only, this is only successful, guys, because the government is so restrictive because of so many regulations. If it was more relaxed, this thing wouldn't even be that as successful. And that's the proof of the tyranny. So also next in the news, Cointelegraph.com puts out this article that says Russian crypto developers beaten, or a Russian crypto developer was beaten and robbed for 300 Bitcoin on the Moscow streets. Four unknown men kidnapped Yuri Mayarov, the creator of cryptocurrency Prism. And according to Forklog, Mayarov was robbed out of $20,000 or 300 Bitcoins and 3 iPhones. Data on CoinMarketCap shows that Prism has a total market cap of around 15.5 million and is trading around 1.4 or $1.04 by press time. So he, according to Mayarov's own allegations, he was grabbed off of Isakovskoye Street by 4 men on February 23rd at 10 p.m. in Moscow, put into a Mercedes and beaten while the men drove around the city. The men took the US dollars, and which Mayarov had just exchanged for an upcoming trip to India. He took the iPhones, his laptop with access to his crypto wallet with 300 BTC, worth a little over 3 million today. So Telegram channel MASH, which originally broke the news of the attack, reported that before the robbers let Mayarov go, they, quote, gave Yuri some bright pill and forced him to drink it with vodka, causing him to go to the hospital before being able to report the incident to the police. Kidnappings and robberies of people involved in cryptocurrencies are becoming more frequent across Russia and UK. 4 days ago, a crypto investor in Moscow was cut in the face with a knife, and 100 BTC, now worth $1 million, was stolen from him. Another attack on a crypto investor took place in St. Petersburg in mid-January when a crypto YouTube blogger who had bragged about his wealth was attacked and robbed at home of 24 million rubles, equal to about $428,000. So this is just something for us to see, guys, that again, privacy is something that we would just want. Whether it's from the governments or from our own fellow people, you know, there are good reasons for people wanting their privacy, and there are good reasons for not being able to track this. So it's just something to see. And then I would just make the recommendation real fast about, guys, like, you know, if you're making big moves in crypto, don't talk about it. You know, the smartest people are the ones that are millionaires in the same room with you, and like you would never know it. So from that, just make sure, you know, you're just smart about the things that you talk about. And then so next, Cointelegraph.com puts out this article that says blockchain-based artificial neural networks to save thousands of lives from medical errors. SkyChain. So I remember that we had talked about this a long time ago, but I just wanted to let you guys know that the token sale has just begun yesterday for SkyChain, and it has a total sale of 36 million SkyChain tokens, and each SkyChain token is worth $1 is what they're selling it, and they will be continuing their roadshow by exhibiting at various conferences around the world. And they're trying to end up basically saying that SkyChain claims their mission is to save 10 million lives from error-related deaths within a decade. Ahead of the full launch, the SkyChain team has created a prototype of the system along with its source code. There's a video demonstrating the system for those who wish to learn more. And what it does is they use AI to diagnose melanoma, breast cancer, and heart disease. And the team claims that there were instances of higher accuracy with the AI system than with having doctors there. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to basically use the robot against doctors to try to see who can diagnose these specific diseases faster. And if their AI works, they want to push that forward as a business and hopefully save 10 million lives just by doing that. So yeah, I think that's an ambitious project, and it's something that it's where, like I've been talking about, how AI is going to be hard for our species to avoid. And so a lot of people flirt with the idea of how AI is going to be a benefit, and then a lot of other people think that, you know, it's not going to do anything but cause us harm. And I'm kind of in the middle. I'm always trying to stay neutral on things and just basically say that, yeah, you know, I don't think that there are going to be a lot of good uses coming from AI that our species can't already solve ourselves, just because I know that even the computer I'm streaming on, all of these things that we talk about, they were all created within men's and women's minds first, before they were manifested before us. So something like AI and things like that, because it's created in our minds, it shows me that our minds are always more powerful. And there may be a point where, you know, our species starts to depend on AI just because it's going to be like inevitable, or there will be like no way for us to not use it. So yeah, from that, next in the news, I just want to report news.bitcoin.com puts out this article that says another Thai bank shuts down accounts of local crypto exchange. Another major Thai bank is reportedly terminating transactions involving cryptocurrencies through the bank accounts of a local crypto exchange. The decision follows the move similar by another major Thai bank, Bangkok Bank, to terminate the same exchange's bank accounts. So what they're trying to do is the second bank, which is known as Krung Thai Bank, has shut down crypto trade accounts that are associated with Thai Digital Asset Exchange, TDAX. And TDAX is a privately owned Thai cryptocurrency exchange, and the exchange still has bank accounts with two other financial institutions, Kasikorn Bank, K-Bank, and Siam Commercial Bank, SCB. And last week, K-Bank confirmed that it was still providing service to TDAX. So from this, we can see that, you know, TDAX was also preparing to launch an ICO. However, the regulatory uncertainty has prompted the exchange to announce that its ICO plans are now postponed. So I just want you guys, I'm going to stop reporting on this article right here, because this is all that I wanted to say, is that, can you guys see now? Right here is the proof that regulatory uncertainty has prompted the exchange to postpone its sale. So now there's fear that the regulators have put into this exchange, and this exchange is such a slave, it's so fearful that it will not move forward with its own project. It will not provide its people with this amazing opportunity because fear just has it by the balls. And so I'm just showing you guys here that regulations is something that is stopping innovation. This ICO would be in full effect. It would be going on right now if we didn't have all these regulations even being talked about. And so because they're being talked about, even, it's fearing this, this already established crypto exchange to stop moving forward, even though it's already established. Now think about how many other ICOs were just killed off hearing this as well. When they're like, wow, so if TDAX is shutting down its ICO, we don't have that much money, so we might as well shut down our ICO. We might as well not try to end up providing this innovation to the planet. All this work that we did, let's just go ahead and be stuck in fear instead of giving it to the planet. And so that's what might be happening with other coins right now, other ICOs right now. And you know what? We'll never know, because we'll never hear of them, right? And this is what regulation gives us, family. But I want you, anybody that's new to this, I want you guys to know that this has been around for almost a decade now, and we haven't needed regulation. I have not needed any regulation for years and years, and everything has been just fine. So that's why this is crazy that this is still, that people still think this is necessary, that this has to happen. And so, hey, people that think that regulation is necessary in order for us to move forward with cryptocurrencies, let's talk about it, man. Because I really feel that like there's no way for us to not be able to trust ourselves with being able to move forward and say, hey, we can do this without regulation. I think we're old enough. I think we can do it. All right, so next, Inquisitor.com puts out this article that says law enforcement cracking open iOS devices is threatening the core of an iPhone's value, Snowden argues. The only compelling reason for someone to buy an iPhone over more open, less expensive competitors was Apple's stronger stance on users' right to privacy and security. Boom, baby. Edward Snowden. Oh man, I just love what you gotta say. Him and I are like this, man. Like we are so close-minded with the way that we see these things. But in 2016, Apple made headlines for its refusal to unlock an iPhone at the insistence of law enforcement. What the tech giant CEO Tim Cook called a defense of civil liberties was lauded by privacy activists and civil libertarians worldwide. Cracking open iOS devices used to be a surveillance state pipe dream, but a prominent U.S. government contractor may have found a way to do just that. Cellebrite, an Israeli company focusing on empowering law enforcement, military, and intelligence, publicly boasted about their abilities to unlock pretty much any iOS device currently available on the market. In a data sheet published on the company's official website, in a separate section listing the devices supported for advanced unlocking and extraction services, Cellebrite noted that it has the ability to break the security of Apple iOS devices and operating systems, including iPhone, iPad, iPad mini, iPad Pro, and iPod Touch, running iOS 5 to iOS 11. They are bragging about that. The privacy section of Apple's official website states the following. At Apple, we believe privacy is a fundamental human right, and so much of your personal information you have a right to keep private, lives on our Apple devices. Your heart rate after a run, which news stories you read first, where you bought your last coffee, what websites you visit, who you call, email, or message. Every Apple product is designed from the ground up to protect that information and to empower you to choose what you share and with whom. We've proved time and time again that great experiences don't have to come at the expense of your privacy and security. Instead, they can support them. So, this precedent and seemingly major victory for the surveillance state was confirmed by sources who asked to remain anonymous, and Forbes obtained a warrant of what is probably the first known government inspection of an iPhone X, Apple's newest smartphone. The warrant, a probe into a suspect in an arms trafficking case, does not reveal what data the law enforcement has obtained, but it does show that the suspect's iPhone X was sent to a Cellebrite specialist at the Department of Homeland Security in Grand Rapids, Michigan. This, according to Forbes writer Thomas Fox Brewster is a significant moment for law enforcement, not just in America but across the globe. With each new release, iPhone has improved its security with layers upon layers of encryption, but it seems their devices, even the newest ones, are not impenetrable after all. The famous whistleblower and a vocal critic of the surveillance state, Edward Snowden, shared his thoughts in a tweet saying, "The only compelling reason for someone to buy an iPhone is because Apple has a stronger stance on users' rights to privacy and security." Snowden also added that this threatens the core of an iPhone's value. And for the longest time, Apple's key product was something you cannot buy, a commitment to privacy. Has Apple failed on its faithful customers? And this is pretty much where I've been explaining in the last few days, you know, that we've now seen Apple putting encrypted iCloud keys on China's land, and it's due to the legal systems that China has in place there that's forcing Apple to do that. But also last night we were reporting that how Apple tries to produce these transparency reports every year, and just last night they produced their new one, and in their new transparency report they have basically talked about how they're going to be storing all of your photos and videos on Google's hard drives. And so with this news coming out, you got to remain sovereign, you got to remain awake, you got to remain aware. You got to be able to carry this news with you from day to day, so that way you can track this stuff in your head and you can make your own decision and be like, oh, okay, with all of this stuff that I've been hearing about Apple lately, I'm going to go ahead and log that in my head and think about that the next time I make a purchase for a device. So here's the question I have for myself, family. I love Apple products. I love them because of their privacy, number one, but also because of their ease of use, and the fact that you can get support on it from a lot of places. So the privacy is one of the biggest aspects that's now allowing me to say, hey, it's now the truth throughout the news that I've seen and I've reported on, that Apple's definitely not as private as I thought they once were. And under a Steve Jobs, I think Apple would be very, very different. I think it would be very private, and there would be many different moves happening right now. It's just Tim Cook is running the thing a lot differently. So that's just my personal opinion. I always have the right to change this, you know what I mean? But it's just my personal opinion that Tim Cook is kind of like not really he can't have the foresight that Steve Jobs had, and he can't create like the same type of privacy that Steve Jobs could. And so because of this, we're now seeing this, you know, happening here, where they're now giving up their sovereignty to China. They're giving up their sovereignty to, you know, like just Google, because it's cheaper. And, you know, they're not giving their sovereignty up directly to a government, but now we have places in the world that you can hide an exploit, such as Celebrite. What they've done is they have set up and they have given out $1 million to somebody that can hack these phones. And whenever somebody is desperate, they'll end up looking in and they'll try to find a hack, and they will get paid out by this company to do this. But then this company can take this hack and they can go to law enforcement agencies all around the world, and they can say, hey, do you have any terrorists you want us to spy on? Well, we have a hack that even Apple doesn't know about, and we are never going to give it to Apple. And because we know that Apple will never allow you into their phones as well, if you want to make a bribe as the government to us as Celebrite, well, maybe we can go ahead and work something out where we can start hacking into your devices, and we can start giving you that information that you so desperately need, because you cannot solve your case any other way. You absolutely have to have this data. So this is what it's bred, guys. There's been so many things that have been happening on this planet now that we now have suspicions that our government is able to pay. It's not even suspicions, but it's pretty much confirmed that our government is paying a private company to hack other company devices of our own citizens. And that's just how I've kind of put this together, so that way we can see that, guys, this is madness. This isn't healthy. And this is also why Brahma OS and all these other decentralized operating systems and applications and app stores and all of that, that's why all of this stuff is not only going to exist, it's going to win. Because we've pushed ourselves into a place so paranoid. It's like we've driven ourselves into a place of such paranoia that you're begging everybody to want to end up taking on privacy as their biggest asset. So, yep, that's just another thing that I wanted to report. Next, Coindesk.com puts out this article that says China's crypto exchanges didn't just survive, but they're thriving. It began like this. Officials from People's Bank of China stepped into the offices of the largest crypto exchanges in the country and sat down with their executives. And they told the exchanges they were interested in identifying whether the startups were meeting anti-money laundering and capital control mandates. And one of the CEOs at Huobi, one of the 3 major crypto exchanges based in China at the time, had an ulterior motive. They said, basically, in a nutshell, the regulator wanted to grab a big picture of how significant cryptocurrency trading was in China. How does Bitcoin work? Where does the money come from? Where does it go to? How do people make and lose money? So the People's Bank of China also requested information on the exchange's trading volume and user numbers. In addition to the platform's data, Huobi had been regularly submitting information and reports about worldwide government policy in an effort to help the People's Bank of China understand the cryptocurrency industry. So the CEO of Huobi definitely thought something was up. To him, it seemed like the People's Bank of China was gathering information in order to create a framework for regulating the industry, something many exchanges wouldn't necessarily have been worried about. But then September came and the announcement that the People's Bank of China was banning ICOs and shutting down domestic fiat to crypto order book trading. So it seems the inquiries paved the way for the ultimate clampdown, one that severely affected cryptocurrency exchanges in the country. In a previous interview with CoinDesk, Huobi's founder and CEO Leo Li reported that trading volumes followed suit. On November 1st, these figures were just 5% of what they were on September 15th, the last day before the close of order book trading. Yet, not to be deterred, exchanges such as Huobi have continued to thrive, finding new ways to grow their businesses. They say, whatever the policy may be, we will comply with the rules and are here to stay. The Bitcoin trend is irresistible, and down the road, it is very, very likely that China will lift its ban on cryptocurrency trading. And, as this is, we can see that in the long term, we think crypto-to-crypto trading has more potential than fiat currencies because of the large number of trading choices that can be available. And the timing was perfect for Binance. And they also say if you have assets in an exchange and now you are prohibited from accessing it through a normal process, you definitely will rack your brain to get in there. And this is what I've been saying, guys, is that like even these regulators, they're trying their hardest to hold people down and ban them from using these types of things. But I was saying this last year, and it's just something that is just natural. Once you show people an alternative way of using their money, they will not go back to using their traditional ways that are slower and more obsolete. And they're not going to do it just because the government is saying so. There will be some people that will do it, but those people are just fearful. They're full of fear and they need a lot of love. So because of this, you guys can see that, cryptocurrency exchanges are thriving in China, especially after the ban. And so this is just some proof of some news that I wanted to show you guys, that these places in China, it doesn't matter what happens. If you try to ban something, you're only going to make it worse. You're only going to make it more popular. Think about it. If everybody's all like, dang, the government's banning this crypto coin thing that everybody's getting rich from, well, people are going to be like, well, shit, damn, I want to go and get into that before it gets banned for me too. And so, like, you'll see that, like, it starts to end up, like, creating this backfire of like, an attitude where people want it even more once you ban it. So, yeah, from that, just to end things on a positive note, SeattleTimes.com puts out this article yesterday that says Oregon moves towards state net neutrality law. Salem, Oregon, in response to moves by federal regulators ending net neutrality and citing a looming deadline, Oregon legislators advanced a proposal aimed at forcing internet service providers in the state to treat all types of content equally. The proposal passed the House 40-17 on Monday and now heads to the Senate. If enacted, the measure wouldn't mandate internet providers take any action, but would stop state agencies from buying internet service from any company that blocks or prioritizes specific content or apps starting in 2019. The prohibition would include cities and counties, but includes an exemption for areas with only a single provider. So this is beautiful. State of Oregon, huge thumbs up from Sovereign Starseed tonight. What's really cool for us to see too is that the proposal in the House had 40 people saying that they wanted net neutrality, but what's even more telling is that there were 17 people in Oregon that think it's great that we have our net neutrality taken away from us. And so, yeah, it'd be really good to see who those 17 people are that decided, no, you know what? I love having unfair internet. I love it. Don't bring back the neutrality. Hey, Permacats is on board. Much love to you, Permacat. Thank you so much for joining the spaceship. So yeah, it's just basically something that I think is really good for us to see, as well as the way that they did it. So it says that it's going to wouldn't mandate internet providers take any action, but it would stop state agencies from buying internet service from any company that blocks or prioritizes specific content or apps. So that's basically saying that, like, hey, if the government wants to come in and buy from a certain company that it's already sponsoring, because it blocks the prioritization of apps and services, we're not going to allow it in Oregon, which I think is beautiful. And so I just want you guys to see that, so that way we can see that, yeah, just kind of like I was saying when the net neutrality decision was passed, now it's going to take a couple years for people to go ahead and try to clean this up. And they're going to try to clean it up by putting out all these bills and all of these different laws in every state saying, okay, if you want to do that there, then we're going to stop it here on this level, on the state level. And who wins in those types of arguments is usually the national level. But, you know, I've seen stranger. All right, so that's it for the news. But let's go ahead and get into our Maxim, and let's see what we got for our Maxim tonight. Favorite part of the show. All right, so Maxim me. Got it. So the maxim for tonight is actio personalis moritur cum persona. And once more in Latin, that is actio personalis moritur cum persona. And what this means in English is a personal action dies with the person. This must be understood of an action for a tort only. Once more in English is a personal action dies with the person. This must be understood of an action for a tort only. So I just want to go ahead and look up the word tort so that way we're all on the same page there. And so a tort, it says that it is in common law jurisdictions, it says it is a civil wrong that causes someone else to suffer loss or harm, resulting in the legal liability for the person who commits the crime. Or resulting in legal liability for the person who commits the tortious act. So, yep, it's a civil wrong and it causes somebody to suffer. So, a personal action dies with the person. This must be understood of an action for a tort only. So, that's kind of like where, how do you guys see this maxim? How do you guys see this personal truth? How do you see it being used in court? How do you see it being used in your friendships? How do you see it being used with your lovers? And how do you see it being used with people that you're not on good terms with? I will say that a personal action dies with the person. This must be understood of an action for a tort only. So when I see that, like, what it starts to say to me is, when somebody does something else to you, like let's say somebody did something to me, and that action was something that like caused me to suffer. Well, that personal action is going to die with that person. And there are times when, let's see of a better way of saying what I comprehend from this. And guys, remember, like, there's no way of comprehending this wrong. There's just lots of good ways to comprehend it. So everything that you guys are thinking about what this means too is correct because it's natural. So what I see about this is kind of like where, you know, when somebody does something bad to somebody else and it causes them deep suffering or pain, like it disables somebody, leaves them in a wheelchair, or maybe somebody does something so bad to somebody that they're blind. Well, there's no way for that person to pay that back. Like, there's no way for that damage to be repaired, for somebody's eyesight to go, or somebody's paralysis in their legs to be gone. So what happens is that there's a way that you can look at natural law and you can see that, look, the damage that was caused there, if we're all good people and we're all operating from our hearts, we can know that the person that caused the damage to this other person that put them in a wheelchair, that personal action is going to die with that person. So basically, to me, what it says is that it's an act that can't be forgiven until that person is out of their body. And even then, the actions with whatever happened there are going to die with that person. So like, as soon as that person is graduated or dies, then a lot of times those actions aren't necessary to even be talked about anymore. And it's just something that I kind of feel from it. What do you guys think? So I think it's, you know, a lot of times these maxims, some of them are very, very easy to comprehend. Some of them require a little bit of reflection. But this is great. This is excellent for us to do. And you know what? I'm super grateful that we're able to end up having this little platform here to end up doing this on. So if any of you guys have any ideas that you want to end up throwing out, whatever it makes you feel, let me know. Also, for anybody that's joining the stream late, I'm going to go ahead and try to do the stream tomorrow from D Live. I might do one early, but there's a lot of work that I need to start getting to. So I might start doing the stream tomorrow from D Live just because they made a huge update and it's given me the confidence in trying it out again. But also I'm looking for work so that way I can end up paying some bills, and because I'm not crypto rich by any means, but I'm looking for work so that I could pay some bills. And because of that, guys, like, I just want to prepare you guys and start to let you know that depending on the schedule that I get or whatever happens, the schedule for the streams might be off. So if that does happen, I will let you guys know via Twitter. And so make sure that you're following me on Twitter so that way you can know, like, if the schedule is going to change, and turn on post notifications. So that way you won't miss a tweet and it won't just scroll past you, because I only send it out once, you know, I'm not trying to spam. So yeah, make sure that you follow me on Twitter to see if anything changes in regards to the schedule while I'm trying to end up getting a job here, getting things set up for the stream, and so I can still sustain going forward. But alright, so nobody has anything to say about the maxim. That's all good. No worries. No worries. A lot of times it's just something to reflect on. So with that, I'll just go ahead and say thank you to everybody that watches these streams. We'll go ahead and transition out here in just a second, but I appreciate all of you guys. Mr. Compton, Permacath, Ray of Sunshine, all of you people. You know, if you have any friends that you feel would benefit from this type of stuff, let's go ahead and get this message out there. it would benefit me a lot. And you know, we can possibly start to see if we can get some things set up to where I could do streaming, you know, and stream a lot more of this stuff, because there's a lot more news that comes out than what we cover here. Anyways, guys, super appreciative of everybody that joined in tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night, probably at 10 p.m. Mountain, 5 o'clock Universal. Probably going to do it from D Live. And so follow me on Twitter, and I will try to tweet the link out to the D Live link tomorrow. Try to be on Steemit if you have a Steemit account so that you can chat. If not, you can still DM me on Twitter, and I'll try to read those so that way we can talk about them, and you can still have an avenue to chat through if you don't have a Steemit account yet. If you need help setting up a Steemit account, I'd be happy to help you. And then, yeah, if you're already on there, make sure you follow me, because we'll be going live tomorrow night. All right, family, this is Sovereign Starseed saying good night to all beings, seen and unseen. I love you.